Hello, legends. See, Elder here. I want to quickly talk about Rapha's repair service today. And the reason that it came to my mind is I have use of their service. And so I've spent some time doing unboxing, and you guys know I like their products. You know, they make really good quality stuff. I get them when they're pretty reasonable, and some of them I get at full price because the really great limited edition stuff doesn't stick around. Anyway, after I wore those shorts, the tights that I wore last weekend. Let me pull them over here. The tights that I wore last weekend, I've had for about probably almost 3 years now, and I use them a lot in the winter. I have two of them. I have Castelli and I've got the Rapha. And you guys know, if you've been watching these videos, I don't play with the cold weather here in South Texas. Well, I guess South Central Texas. That's because last Saturday it was 45 degrees and windy. Today it's probably 65. Yesterday it was 80. The weather's all over the map, so your body never gets a chance to acclimate. And that's really dangerous if you mess around with it, because if your body has not acclimated to cold and you don't dress enough and you go exercise out there, when we're moving on the bike, we create our own wind chill. You're not just going for a walk. So it's imperative that you're covered and you're dressed right. Otherwise you can get ill, because your pores are open when you exercise. You got to wear the right stuff, breathable stuff. Anyhow, it's one of my favorites. Besides the Castelli, I like wearing these. Anytime it dips below 60, 65, and it's going to stay that way, I don't bother with leg warmers. I just put on some tights. They got pads in them already. This is the Pro Team winter tights with pad. I think that's how Rapha calls it. I'll put the actual name there when I do the production of this video. But anyhow, I washed it. I always wash my stuff inside out. And while I was getting it ready for the wash, when I turned it inside out, I noticed that the pads are separating from the short. And I was a little dismayed, but then I realized that it was my fault. I'll show you. This is a 3-year-old extensively used Pro Team bib tights. You see if the camera can pick up what I'm seeing here. If you look here, I'm going to put my finger in there. That has separated there, and that has separated there. But everything else is in place. It's not where I sit. It's the back of the pad where it connects, where it is actually attached to the material of the short, and all the thread, the seams are out. So I was a little dismayed, and then I realized that when I'm putting this thing on, when I put it on and I get it on me, I always do this to pull that up. And I remember maybe a year or so ago, I did that once and I heard, I never went to look or whatever, but whenever I would wash it, I never noticed it. So I did it. It's clear. Just pulling that. I grab the pad and I pull it up, and I think that's just a bad idea, grabbing the pad. And that one time I did it when I heard the sound, I just went and rode and it was fine. I got back, I washed it, I didn't see any separation. So a year and a half later, I just noticed it when I washed it. Now, Rapha has a repair service where you buy anything from them. It doesn't matter what causes the damage. If they cannot repair it, they will give you an option to repurchase. If the same product or a comparable one, if the same product is available, they will, and I've been through it, and they'll give you the option to repurchase it at 50% off retail price. Okay, I don't see them not being able to repair this. I can take that to an alterations place and they can fix it, but I'm going to send it to Rapha because it costs me nothing, and for the life of this short, they cover it. It costs me nothing in terms of, I have those labels I talked about that come with every order. I got an envelope full of them. And the only time involved now, because I bought it online, I've got to go through all my orders and find the order that pertains to this to print the return authorization online. I have to print it. You have to mark where the damage is in the area. What I usually do is I take blue painter's tape and I tape it inside the garment as well, so that the seamstress who's going to get it, because this goes back to the Portland, Oregon office. And I don't know if it's repaired there or whether it's sent somewhere else. But I can tell you this, I use the service, for those of you who remember the video I made about handlebars, carbon bars versus aluminum bars or something like that. I'm paraphrasing. And how I explained how I crashed because my bar had broken at some point, had a crack in it, I didn't know, and it just failed on me during a ride. That particular ride, I was wearing a Rapha jersey. I was wearing this jersey. This jersey will be featured in a future story. This jersey Rapha made to honor Felice Gimondi. So it was a very special jersey. I had just gotten it. You know, it may have been the Virgin ride. But what happened was I fell and the back of the jersey, the pocket, and you're not going to be able to tell because I can't even tell it's been damaged. But this seam here was all scuffed to where you could see the rubber. And I was very, very dismayed. It's one of these jerseys where they got a sleeve for your pump. I think it's really cool. That's something else I'll cover in a separate video. I think it's really cool. But I was very dismayed. But I knew about the return thing. So I had crashed. So all I did was I washed the jersey. They ask that you wash the stuff when you're sending it back, or they just will not work on it. I washed the jersey, sent it back. About 2 or 3 weeks later, it came back. And I looked at it and I could not tell. I was like, man, how did they fix that? I had no idea how they fixed it, but they fixed it. And so I was very, very pleased because these were one of these jerseys that were very popular and they sold out pretty quickly because it has a story. I think it's got something in the pocket, but that's for another video. Anyway, let me put this back here. So, you know, I was washing it. So I mentioned it to my wife, and you know, women think differently. My wife, I bought her a bike a long time ago. She used to ride with me before the kids got here. Once the kids got here, she's not into it. Her bike is sitting in another room collecting dust. I just make sure it's ready to ride all the time whenever she's in the mood. I don't push her. But she said, it makes no sense for you to send it back now for that little, for the threads that are loose. She said, it's still cold. Ride it until May when it gets nice and warm. When you switch to your summer shorts, then send it back because it takes them like 3 to 4 weeks thereabouts. She said, then you won't be worried about waiting on it. I wasn't thinking like that. I was like, oh, excellent idea. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend a little bit of time going in there and finding it in the order as I have time. Because I got a lot of orders. They archive every order since 2012 that I've ever bought from them. So I've got to I got to go back 3 years and start. I don't get too many things, so the order for that year is not that much. But I got to at least gauge the year. But I'm going to find the paper, print it out, and just have it. And I will continue to use it until late spring, and then I'm going to send it in. I wanted to share that with you guys because the return policy is unparalleled. I've been cycling for a very long time. Nobody else does that. I think that's cool. As long as you own the garment, they don't care why it happened, whatever. If they can fix it, they fix it. And when it comes back, you can't tell. If they need to replace a panel, they do. I showed you that jersey. I don't even know how they fixed it. But it came back good as new after a crash. It's called a crash replacement policy. They also have another policy that is within 12 months that you buy something and you lose a lot of weight. For those of you who are getting back into the sport and whatever, if you lose a lot of weight and your size changes, they will take the old jersey, you send the old jersey back, and they will swap out the new one for you. I was like, I don't remember if they modified to where maybe you're paying 50%, but I read about it somewhere. So you can verify whether you have to pay some money for the replacement or whether they just outright replace it but you have to do it within a year. I think they just outright replace it. You have to do it it has to happen within 12 months. They're not going to let you buy the jersey in January of 2017 and then in 2020 send it back and say I lost weight. It needs to happen from January to January 2018. You got a 12-month window after you made the purchase. If your weight loss has caused you to change sizes in jerseys, you use that policy to send you your new size. I thought that was really cool. I just wanted to share that with you guys. So the rest of the bib is in great condition. I use the heck out of these things. I mean, as soon as it gets cold, I jump on them, you know. So it's gotten a ton of use. The pad is still lively. It has not settled into any kind of dents. I mean, they make good stuff. So I'm gonna listen to my wife and I'm gonna do it. And you can see here on the outside, all the thread. I don't know if this thing will show very well. Right there, it's all missing. Where the seam is, right there, nothing. Right there, nothing. So that's where the damage is. That's where it's just, it came loose. So hopefully they can take care of that and it just needs to be reinforced, I think. But I did the damage. I pulled that thing up one time and it started to rip, and it lasted a year and a half before all the other ones came out. I just never noticed it. So Rapha is a polarizing name in certain circles, but the bottom line is they're thinking about things. I mean, you know, they know we're gonna fall, they know we're gonna nick things, and I think it's kind of nice that they stand behind and help us with the tailoring. So if you buy Rapha stuff, keep the return label because they don't expire. Those return labels, I got some when they used to use UPS. Now they're using FedEx. And when I use the UPS label, it works because it's prepaid. So UPS still honors the label. It doesn't matter how many years it's been. So I just want to share that with you guys. So make sure that you keep riding and don't let anything stop you.